This is the last night of the tour. This is the last show. It's kind of weird because we are playing again this year, like we play in a week. So it's very atypical. We usually just keep going, but we're taking a week off. But technically, we're still calling it the end of the tour. So it's the last night of the tour. We have like last night of the tour energy. It feels very like, woo! Yeah, it feels, it's good. Oh yeah, I'm happy to see this young child back on the shoulders. Okay, so let me see if I can see the sign. It says, Tegan Rain is my name too. We have the same name. That's so great. Nice to meet you, Tegan Rain. Hi. You seem very little. I have a funny story about my name. It's nice to meet you. I had this English 10 teacher, and I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't really like him. He didn't really do anything to me. It was just, it was a big classroom, maybe like 38 kids or 40 kids, and he really just favored one or two and kind of ignored the rest of us. But English was like the one class I really liked, and so I felt kind of, I was put off and I felt sad that he didn't like me, like that he didn't give me, I don't know, in elementary school my teachers had paid a lot of attention to me, and then I got to high school and I just was like a degenerate loser and they treated me as such. And but this teacher of mine, he kind of ignored everybody in class, and I felt so sad about it. And I used to skip his class and smoke weed, and the two things are unrelated, but he was like a football coach. He was a huge guy. He was like, you know, well over like 6'4". He was a big guy, and he never ever addressed me, used my name, nothing, except for the day after or later in the day when I had skipped his class and I saw him. He would look at me in the hall, like if I saw him in the hallway, he would like look down at me, and I'd be like, God, I'm such a piece of shit, and I hate that guy. And anyway, one day about a month into the semester, he called me up to the front of the room, and let me tell you, I was shocked that he even knew my name. And he made me go and stand next to the phone on the wall, and he said, just stand here. And I was like, oh fuck, what do I do? And I stood there for probably like a minute, and then the phone rang. And he was sitting at the desk, and like everyone in the classroom was like, you know, just staring at me like, what is this about? So he nods at me and he says, answer the phone. And I answer the phone. And this woman is on the other line, and she's like, hello? And I'm like, hello? And she said, is this Tegan? And I said, yeah. And she said, oh, I don't remember what the first name of the teacher is. Let's say his name was Brad, okay? I didn't know what his name was because I was a teenager, so I didn't think adults had names. So she says, oh, I'm a friend of Brad's, and I'm thinking about naming my child Tegan. And I was just wondering, he said he had a student named Tegan, and I was just wondering if you like your name. Now, I just want to remind you, I'm like 15 years old and probably high. Also, I know, which is weird because it's only 4 years after we used to lay in bed reading breakfast. Maybe so was fun. Yeah. We went real down. So many things have changed in those 4 years. It's a confusing time. Anyway, so I'm like 15. I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, who the fuck is Brad? Who's this lady? Everyone in the classroom staring at me, and I'm like, yeah. Most people call me Tegan, and so I have to correct them a lot, but otherwise it's pretty much, yeah, it's a good name. And then she was like, okay, well, thanks so much. And I'm like, okay, bye. And I just like hung up the phone and went back to my desk. And I think about it a lot now because all these years later, I have met so many adorable children named Tegan, and so many cats named Tegan. Yeah, and I think it's so cool. I feel like the way that you're holding that child up, you're offering it to Tegan. Yeah. And Tegan Rain, I think that she would be willing to take it on. So, no, but I want to say this is the one thing that, like, I don't know if this happens to Tegan Rain. It would be hard to have that conversation across this distance. But Sarah has all these memories of when we were in school, and we would you know, the first day of school when they call out everybody's names and divide them into classrooms, they always put me in the boys' class. Because they thought my name was a boy's name, and clearly even now at 43, there's some confusion sometimes around like my gender expression. And as kids, Sarah and I had this haircut, and we both only got one earring pierced, and so what would happen was that we would stand next to each other, and they would be like, Tegan, and point to the boy side, and I would go, because I was so shy, I didn't want to say anything, and Sarah would be like, no, she's a girl, like every year. And now I just think it's so fucking cool that there's all these kids named Tegan. I just think it's so cool. So anyway, it's nice to meet you, Tegan. Just working through my talent here for you.